Hey guys, welcome to the We Need to Calm Down podcast. I'm Devon.
And I'm Joe.
And this is the show where we talk about all things Taylor Swift.
That's right. This is a show where two friends finally get to let their dedication to our Lord and Savior Taylor Swift fly.
We'll be discussing everything from song breakdowns, Taylor news, and our insane fan theories.
So, what's been going on with you?
I have been playing Guitar Hero like crazy.
What?
So my roommate bought, I came home and she just goes, "Hey, do we have any AA batteries?" And I'm like, "For what?" And she just pulls out a guitar. And I'm like, not like an actual guitar, like a Guitar Hero guitar. And I'm like, "Oh my God." And she's like, "Yep, I just bought like the third game, like the best one."
Mm-hmm.
And then she bought like 5 other games. I'm like, I didn't even know they had 5 other games, but they do. So we've just been playing it. Like we were watching Degrassi, and then all we've been doing is playing Guitar Hero now.
That is incredible. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. I haven't played Guitar Hero in so long. I think the last one I played was 5.
Okay. It's so
And
much fun.
oh my gosh, I miss it so much. That was like a fad that I embraced so hard growing up to the
Mhm.
point where like I think I started up with Guitar Hero, but I ended up being more rock band. But I would just have parties where we would come over and we would have like everyone playing and like doing all this stuff like in high school. Oh my gosh.
It's like a concert.
It's so fun. It's just, and then like you get like someone who's like, you have like 5 people. So like 2 people have to sing together. Oh, it's so cool.
But yeah, that's all I've
Oh,
been.
I'm visiting. Oh, I'm visiting.
It's just the two of us. Let us know.
I'm
We're
definitely
here.
coming over. I need to get some Guitar Hero out because it's the reason I started playing guitar in the first place.
Is it really?
Yeah, I'll never forget when I bought my guitar. I was playing Guitar Hero 3, and one of my favorite songs on Guitar Hero 3 was what is the Poison song? Talk Dirty to Me.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew the power chords that were in the song, and I was like, I wonder if I play those in the same way as Guitar Hero, will it actually work? It doesn't.
No.
Not even a little bit.
No.
But if I had like played guitar for as long as I have now, I would understand why it doesn't work and what I need to do instead that makes it similar. But it's so cool. Oh my gosh. I'm much better at Guitar Hero than I am at guitar.
Same. But yeah.
So what are we talking about on this typical Thursday night?
Well, we will be breaking down Exile, which is the 4th track off of Folklore.
Okay, so let's go. Do you want to do some quick facts?
Sure thing. It is the 3rd longest song on the album at 4 minutes and 46 seconds. It is the only song on the album with a feature. So it's Bon Iver's on the song. No other track has any features in it. This song was included as the last song in the Escapism chapter, as well as the first song in the Sleepless Nights chapter, which we talked about on Tuesday.
Okay, yeah. This song has been. How's this song been for you? What have your initial thoughts on this one?
I really liked it at first, and then as I grew to love the other songs more, it's kind of ebbed and flowed. Like some days it really hits, and some days it's like meh.
I feel like that's been the exact same for me. Like I'll never forget our first reaction to it, where we like literally lost our minds when
Justin
Bon Iver came
Vernon's
in.
voice, yeah.
It's just insane. I loved that, and I listened to it a lot, but it fell down in our rankings very quickly for me. Like it was just so easy to pick other songs over it. But since I've done research on it and stuff like this, it just grow a lot more. But I don't know how. Like I don't know where I'd put it, but I just feel like I have a newfound respect for it after staring at it for so long.
I feel like that always happens with us. We have a song breakdown episode and we're like, you know what? I just really appreciate the song a lot more.
The stock in a song always goes up after a song breakdown, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go into some context around this song. So Exile describes two ex-lovers seeing each other following a breakup, which I admittedly am very stupid and did not realize that was the case. I never realized that it was such what's the word I'm looking for? It was just such a straightforward story of like them seeing each other. I always thought it was like kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Incorporeal? That's not the right word.
Nah, I don't even know that word.
I always thought it was like abstract. There we go. That's the word.
Hmm.
I always thought it was like an abstract. They're both thinking, but I didn't realize it was literally them in the same room meeting for the first time after they broke up. But Swift, Justin Vernon Bon Iver, which pisses me off. Why is his name not Bon Iver? All the research I did for this song, they kept saying Justin Vernon, and I'm like, I don't know who this is because
Oh my
Bon Iver
gosh.
is on is on the song. So why aren't they just saying that? Is Bon Iver a band?
No.
It's just a person. So he just picked a new name and then somehow still goes by both. That is
Yeah.
infuriating.
It's his artist name.
Well, I don't like it. Just go by
It's
one
like
or the other.
how
It's not even like
well
Justin Vernon is a bad stage name.
well it's like Tame Impala.
I don't know who that is.
Tame Impala is just one guy, but everyone thinks it's a band.
Kind of like Nine Inch Nails too.
I guess. I don't know
Yeah.
about that about Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah, it's just Trent Reznor. Just Trent Reznor. But yeah, so Justin Vernon in the song describes his feelings of confusion about how quickly a lover that he had could have moved on, and then Swift offers the other side of the story, where she's just talking about how many repeated warning signs she gave that the relationship was just not working, and he just never saw them. It's also worth noting that this was really cool when I was doing research. One of the things that someone pointed out, like Vernon's really rough, kind of like deeper voice, really contrasts against Swift's much smoother one, which like kind of gives you another like facet to their relationship
Mm-hmm.
of like how like their temperaments might be in it and how they've meshed through the relationship they were in. In Taylor's introduction to folklore, she tells us about like images in her head that became these characters that she wrote about. And one of the first characters she listed was an exiled man walking the bluffs of a land that isn't his own and wondering how it all went so terribly, terribly wrong. Which, that's a poem. I would read that poem 100%. This one is a question for you, more or less, but I cannot be the only one who sings both parts of this song or tries
Oh.
as hard as he can to switch back and forth, even though they're singing over top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
It always comes out so awfully, but I can't not. Like, you need to sing both. I never get you gave so like you just switch back and forth every
Mm-hmm.
time. Thank God I haven't listened to the song in front of anyone yet.
You didn't even hear me, you didn't even hear, cause you never given what I gave so many all this time. It's just
It's just you're never getting the full song either way, no matter
mm-hmm.
what. But you can't sing it another way. It's illegal.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they passed that law.
Yeah.
The one thing that hit me, and I'm very interested to see. I wrote like a little bit of a dissertation here
Okay.
about something, but I'm interested to see if you had like a similar view or if your thought process was similar. I'm sure it might just be that I'm very weird, but I wanted to get this out.
Mm-hmm.
So this song was one of the first that really hit on the movie/film motif that we talked about in an upcoming episode.
Yeah.
We are introduced to it first in the one with I Hit the Sunday Matinee, but this motif is being in the chorus is what really makes it stand out. And we've established that in our other episodes that Taylor's writing really does transport us, be it through Cardigan when we talked about the music video, through Epiphany where we feel like we're watching a movie when we're listening to it. Like we said, Epiphany, it's impossible to listen to without envisioning war zone battles, stuff like that. It's so cinematic and imagination provoking. And I didn't realize it until I really started thinking, and like this episode came on my radar and I was like, oh, we have to talk about Exile. But I realized that this song actually does the exact same thing for me, which is even funnier considering I didn't realize that the whole point of the song is that they're meeting each other. But every time this whole song, when I listen to it, it takes place in a movie theater. I can't explain why, and I don't mean like an AMC. I mean like kind of like a really old fashioned style movie theater. For some reason, I can't get away from it, but I always think of the movie theater at the end of Inglourious Bastards. But like some kind of like old fashioned style movie theater. It's just like I paint this picture of like this dark room, it feels like the song does revolve around a theater for me. I find it really hard to put into words, but like I just get such a vivid picture of it. A darkened room, a blinding projector, a muffled conversation between two people that are trying to argue, but they can't really do it because there's no talking in a movie theater. Um, and that makes them unable to properly communicate, and which like leads to never gave a sign. I gave so many signs. I love the references to seeing that are laced throughout it. Like there's a lot of lines where he says, "I see you standing there," or she says like "saw" and stuff like that, where it just makes me feel like they're watching movies of their relationship together, and like she's trying to point out like, "See, this is why it didn't work," and he just doesn't understand that it doesn't work. Um, but they're watching these movies, quote unquote, from their own perspectives, but still not able to convey or understand what exactly went wrong. And then the side door line is what really seals it for me, because I never leave a movie theater through the main entrance.
Mhm.
There's always like a side door on either side that I always leave out of. And that's, to me, it's the same thing of like she's been watching this movie, she's seen it too many times, she knows that it's not going to go anywhere, so she sneaks out of the theater and leaves out of the side door. The movie's over. And I don't know why I mean, obviously I get it because she keeps talking about movies and everything. Are you okay?
It's a super cut.
I don't like this. That's so
Continue.
good. No, that's so good. Oh my gosh, I'm basically done with that. But that was,
Yeah.
well, do you envision a movie theater when you see this one?
So it's funny you say that because when we go into the music behind the lyrics, the imagery that this song instrumentally paints is insane. And I don't want to like spoil it.
Okay. Okay.
But yes, I get that they're in a movie theater. And I
I
will
don't
tell you
I
why later.
can't. I mean, obviously, like it's easy to say like I've seen this film before and I didn't like the ending. Like and that's in the course, so you hear it all the time. So it's very easy to like go, "Oh, well that's the reason I think of it." But again, like that's just one line. Like when I
I
hear 7, I
yeah.
don't immediately think of Sweet Tea in the Summer every time the chorus comes on. Like why is this movie like the movie theater is such a specific setting, and seeing and now that I know that it's like seeing your friendship, like the movie theater is even more vivid now because I just imagine like them being on the red carpet out like outside of the theater before they're actually going in to watch the movie, and that's when Bon Iver sees Taylor arm around her new lover, and he's just going I could go even farther, but he's going into this movie theater, something he's done with her many, many times, something that he enjoys both by himself and with her. And then he sees her with another guy, which lends to, sorry, I'm just going off right now, but lends to the whole understudy thing of she's taking this guy who's not even like, not as good as him, is the understudy to him, to the place that they used to go all the time together. And that's why he's like ready to fight. He's like, this guy is replacing me. He doesn't deserve blah blah blah. Oh, oh, I need to listen to this song again.
So I am going to explain all of that later
Yes.
because
Yeah.
there it makes complete sense and I'll tell you exactly why.
I
After this commercial break.
Yeah, that's a good one. We'll take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, but we'll be right back to discuss some lyrics. Lyrics, we're back. Um I'm a little delirious. So Jesus, I wrote so much for this one. Like
I
I
think you
think
just said it all. Actually, no, you didn't.
no, I didn't. That's the sad part.
Okay, well, so instead of speaking in essays, try to speak in concise.
I'm gonna okay. Let me see if I can get this out right.
Okay.
So the one thing I never noticed with the lyrics is I never, like I said, I never noticed the story takes place with Bon Iver seeing Taylor with her new bae. But it definitely made more of the lyrics click for me. Like with your arm around his body, who am I defending? Directly relating to Taylor's line of like, you get your knuckles bloody for me. He's ready to fight this new guy, but why? Like, who is he fighting for aside from himself? But why?
Mhm.
And this continues with Taylor saying he's just your understudy. The change in the relationship is so sudden that Bon Iver can't imagine that this guy is anything more than a backup to him, a runner-up that got a big role because the lead got sick. Sick being didn't see signs or something. She sees the anger that she's with this new guy and fears he's just going to start fighting, and he won't respect this new relationship because in his mind he's the right guy.
Mhm.
Another line that like another line that was so interesting to me is it took you 5 whole minutes. I love this line just because it shows like the disparity between the two, because to him this whole breakup is so short. It was so out of the blue. She made a quick rash decision. There's no way it's legitimate. She will be back. This fight can't be that bad. No one just up and leaves that quick after one small fight. But those 5 minutes were years for Taylor that have been building up, that he has just ignored and hasn't seen.
Yeah, and a quick side note is this is so common with like
Mm-hmm.
females in relationships. Like personally, I know when I've wanted to break up with people, I am in that mindset for months. I'm like debating it. I'm like, but I can make it work. I can try to fix it. And meanwhile, with guys, I feel like it's kind of like a spur of the moment. Like, okay, like I feel this way, we're done. Meanwhile,
Mm.
girls like just take such a long time. So that way when they do break up, it's like, no, I've been checked out of this relationship for a while now.
Today I learned I'm a girl. Um, no, but I think it's also interesting because that mixes with Betty the song so well, because James is the same way. James is
Mm-hmm.
the exact same way as Bon Iver here, where he's like, no, like no, it doesn't matter. She's the one. This is just a small blip. We'll fix this. Um, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so nice how like all of these songs do kind of mesh well together. That is a really good point, though. That is such a female thing. Like, uh, one of the things I'll mention is one of my favorite things that I forget who said it, who I heard it from about breakups in general, is it's it's so much better to be the person that breaks up with someone than it is to be the person who got broken up with. Because what, do you disagree with that?
As
Would you
someone who
rather be broken up with, or would you rather do the breaking up?
So, as someone who broke up with my ex and wished that he would just break up with me because I didn't want to have to like break his heart.
So
I'm
the
also an exception because I'm a very empathetic person and I don't care about myself
I was
enough. But
I was gonna
yes.
say just exactly what we were talking about last night kind of came into my mind, and I was like, all right, maybe Devin's a different one. But no, this guy was talking about this, and he said that for the person who's breaking up with them, you've been thinking about it for a while. In your head, you're broken up because
Mm-hmm.
you're broken up without just having ripped the band-aid off, but
Yeah.
you've had the months that it takes
Mm-hmm.
to come to terms with the fact that you're breaking up. And then when you do it, it's a relief. You've ripped the band-aid off. You don't have to worry about that anymore. It's not a problem that you're really focused on. Meanwhile, the person you just broke up with now has to go through those months that you
Yeah,
already went through.
I agree
And
with that.
that was such a nuts thing for me, because I never realized that. Because like when you're ready to break up with someone, in this specific instance, maybe Bon Iver should have been prepared for it. He should have seen the signs. He should have known that it wasn't working and that it was coming. But at the end of the day, the signs are very rarely going to be, we are breaking up in 2 months,
No, I know. And
regardless
like
of what you're doing.
and I've been in the same situation. Like I've been in both. I've been broken up with out of what was seemingly the blue for me, and I'm like, what the hell happened? Like I've been in both places, and I don't know. Breakups are just hard, man. That's why you should just never date anyone ever again.
Breakups are really fun. Someone break up with me. No. I really need to stop saying that.
Yeah.
Uh, but we see another one of Joe's favorite things in songwriting in this song, that I actually, again, didn't notice. I'm daft. I'm so bad. But one of my favorite parts in songwriting, the old switch up the lyrics in the chorus. I really love fresh, different choruses every time we hear them. So we see "You're Not My Homeland Anymore" becomes "I'm Not Your Problem Anymore." Harsh. We see "So Who Am I Defending" becomes "Who Am I Offending," which I never realized. I thought they both said "Who am I
Oh
defending."
no.
Yeah, I'm really stupid, guys. Like I've read these lyrics before, but it's amazing. I love the dichotomy there. Like
Mm-hmm.
he is somehow still hung up on defending her, even though she's not his anymore. She's
Mm-hmm.
still a part of him, and he doesn't understand why. While he honestly doesn't even exist anymore to her. Like, who am I offending? Just because you're over someone doesn't mean you can't upset or offend them by being with someone else. Like, they still can be offended by it, but it's not like they still exist. They still have those feelings. But Taylor is saying, like, who am I offended? Like, who are you? Like, we're done. Like, you don't exist to me anymore. You might have feelings, but those feelings are not my responsibility anymore. So there is no one to really be offended by her. And even if he is offended, he doesn't exist to her anymore.
Damn.
It's so ridiculous. Like, who am I offending? Like, again, like, who are you? You were my town becomes you were my crown. I can't really think about anything like this other than the connection to false god, but it looks
Yes.
like you came up with something.
My thought was like, crown symbolizes like royalty. Like, you were royalty to me. I had like adorned you and adored you and worshipped you, but now I'm in exile, seeing you out.
I could see that. I like that. That I think of all of them. I mean, yeah, that makes the most
So it's
clear
like
sense.
you were my town. It's like you were my like safety. You were my home, and then you were my crown. It's like you were this figure to me.
It's kind of
Similar.
kind of like the I hate the like patriarchy here, but he's the king of the Dominion. He's and what?
King of my heart.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
But you were my town. I ruled over you. Like,
You were king of my heart.
You were the
my
king
crown.
of my heart.
Oh.
Well, we gotta add that to the inner discography.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love when we have random breakthroughs in the middle talking about these. Wow, that's crazy. So those eyes add insult to injury. This could mean so many things that I love it. Like, this is sung by Taylor, so it implies that Bon is giving her eyes, or Boney. But how Bone? Bone.
I guess.
That Bone is giving her eyes. I imagine Justin is giving her eyes. I imagine either eyes of like disbelief, brokenheartedness, which Taylor is taking as an insult. Like, she's looking at him like he's upset that she's with another guy, and he's like, how dare, like, she's looking at him like, how dare you pretend like you're brokenhearted? You had every chance to keep me. I gave you so many chances and you didn't give a crap. Miss me with them puppy dog eyes, Justin.
To which I go, you good, bud?
Look, I have some things that I'm working through.
Wait,
but I love that. Like the idea of like how dare you? You don't get to do that. It's so powerful.
Yeah, completely makes sense. And then I just added the last lyric, him going, so step right out, is him kind of like picking the argument with her, like, okay, like, step out of this theater. Like, I can't do anything else. You've made up your mind already. There's no amount of crying I can do.
After you, let's go. I love that I specifically omitted this lyric because I knew that you would add it in afterward.
So step right out.
Because I knew we'd get one of those.
It wouldn't be an Exile song breakdown if I didn't do that.
All right, so music behind the lyrics. Devon, teach me about music. Okay. Blow my mind.
So music. You know that thing that you hear?
I swear, Devon, I hate it so much. Stop.
Okay, so the song is in F sharp major. It is 76 BPM, which is the lowest on the album. So I figured out the math. The average is 116, so it's about 40 off, or exactly 40 off from the average. So it's a very slow, kind of somber song. The instruments in the song, we have viola, violin, percussion, which is probably a drum machine, which I'll get into. You have this crazy synth, electric guitar, and piano. So you start off with just this beautiful piano intro, Justin Vernon's deep voice that both of us were like, whoa, buddy. It's just so piercing. His voice just pierces through. And then I pointed this out to you. He goes laughing but the joke's not funny at all. And you hear these little birds chirping in the background. And you're like, that's interesting. And I'll explain all of this afterwards, but I'm just setting the scene right now. There's like this slightest bit of violin building in the background, kind of like maybe like emotion swelling or something like that, like a buildup's going to happen and then it kind of goes away. When Taylor goes second, third, and 100 chances, it kind of sounds like a train or like some kind of ringing sound. And then she goes, those eyes add insult to injury, and you hear like a siren.
I pointed that one out. I'm so proud of me.
So I'm wondering, I listened to it and I'm like, there is a siren. So I wonder if that means like the guys actually got into a fight, or if it's just like alluding the fight that was about to occur between him and Taylor. And then you get into the bridge where he goes, so step right out, which Justin Vernon actually added himself. It wasn't in
Really?
Taylor's version. Yeah. So he adds that part. And you have, so I'm leaving out the side door and it's just this like boom of synth that comes in and it's just like wobbling sound. It's just so just deep. It's great. So the drum machine that comes in at the beginning of the bridge, it's dun 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 dun. You never gave up on it's a film reel. It sounds like a film reel. So that's why you get that imagery. Because it's just like dun 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 dun.
Oh my gosh.
It sounds like an old-timey film reel.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm. So then so then we get to the part where, Taylor describes the ending as the two of them seeing each other and trying to communicate, but they just keep talking over each other and have just all this miscommunication, which is brilliantly demonstrated with them singing over each other. Like you can't finish a thought. They keep interrupting. It's like showing that their communication style has just never worked between them. And then at the end, Justin goes, you never gave a warning sign, and they both kind of sing the little run. And afterwards, there's this 15 minutes of like
15 minutes?
15 seconds. 15 seconds after they stop singing, where those sounds are just kind of like idling there in the air. Like it's just kind of like this dense sound. And it's just being stretched out. Like it could symbolize how the relationship was stretched out and lasted too long. It could symbolize Justin not wanting to let her go, and it's just kind of like lingering there. But so the imagery of the song is fantastic. So the way that I see it is the song starts and they're waiting outside of the movie theater, getting their tickets or whatever, an old-timey theater. Bon Iver sees Taylor with this new guy. There's like birds chirping in the background, symbolizing that they're outside. And then later we get to her perspective of the situation. So they're still outside, but you hear these sirens, like I said, alluding to the fact that there might be a fight, someone might get hurt. And then the chorus into the bridge is like them arguing in the theater, and the end is just like him watching her leave out the side door and like not being able to do anything about it.
I love that. I love that. Like, that's not something I would ever expect to come from the music and the production to give this story. Because can you imagine Taylor in the recording booth going, all right, where are the birds? We need some birds chirping. Do you have the siren record I've been asking you about? Like, that's so crazy. And it gives me a good feeling, because it means that I from the get-go, without even subconsciously just went to movie theater.
Yep.
Or it could have gone anywhere.
That's how your mind takes you. Like all these little subconscious things in the music kind of narrate how you picture a song. It's like the imagery that your instruments play is just such a fantastic. Like I never heard the electric guitar in the song, but I hear that piano, I hear those synths, and you hear like the violins are just so subtle at the beginning, but it just kind of symbolizes this tension. And at the end, all that tension is still there until it's just like let go. It's crazy.
I love when songs do give me that. Like they give me like there are certain songs that I have in my life where they remind me of a thing that happened or a place or an area that I was, but songs that give me a brand new area that I associate with is insane without like any like background to it. I want to appreciate this song more because of just everything that it's done.
And do it.
Oh, geez. All right. Gosh.
And appreciate it.
What do we want to say in closing?
I love the song. I love Justin Vernon. I wasn't really a big Bon Iver fan to begin with, but then I like worked on their show at one of the venues I worked at, and I was like, oh, they actually sound really good. I never really like looked into them, but I love his voice. I love the fact that Taylor like geeked out over him, and she's like, they're like, oh, who do you want to collab with? And she's like, well, I would love to get like Justin Vernon. Like I love his voice. I love Bon Iver. And Aaron Dessner was like, well, I know him, but I don't want to get our hopes up. So like, let's see. And then Justin Vernon was like, yeah, of course. So it's like, he describes himself as like a super fan, like seeing both of these talents interact. And I think that as fans right now, we're kind of getting the same reaction from it. But I like
How
it.
how do you generally feel about her collabs historically?
Depends on the type of collabs, but I like them. I think that she really shines solo.
I agree.
Like, I don't think that she needs anyone, but sometimes the collabs do elevate it a little bit. But I love Taylor just with herself.
I think like I generally, yeah, I'm the exact same way where I default to I like just Taylor. I
Mhm.
think the collabs are nice because they do let her do things she couldn't do by herself. She could never do Endgame by herself. She can never do this by herself.
Mhm.
But I definitely think this is the better version of the last time,
Yeah, it's what a
in
lot of
my
people are
opinion.
comparing to.
Yeah, like it's so interesting because like it does feel like this album is a mild level up from Red,
Mhm.
directly from some songs, and a huge like regression from track 5. But no, this song is really great, and I think it's interesting to see. Like again, like I said, she can't do this but by herself. So I'm happy that the song exists and that it needed to have Bon Iver's input to exist.
Mhm. Yeah.
But outside of that, please subscribe to us on any platform that you are listening on. We're on all of them. Tell a friend about us, rate us 5 stars, leave a review, tell us what you think. If you have any ideas for upcoming episodes, uh, we have a lot of folklore stuff, but we'll throw it in the hopper and hope that we can get to it eventually.
Yeah, and follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at We Need to Calm Down Podcast. On Twitter, it's WNTCD Podcast. We're also on YouTube, so you can see our lovely faces. You can see the fact that I'm literally just cocooned in a blanket right now, and Joe looks put together, so I feel like an idiot, but
No,
it's
I
fine.
don't. I was just asleep for 3 hours.
All right, but follow us on YouTube, subscribe, leave a comment.
So other than that, come back. We'll be here.